Here's an example of the love and support from my Aunt Kathy. Now, because my aunt took the mailbox key, my mother is going to starve to death. Merry Christmas. So what happened here was, the second my grandmother passed away, Kathy took all of the keys. So I was living in that condo for a decade with my grandmother, and then suddenly I didn't have a mailbox key anymore because they were supposed to be mailing things having to do with the will, and Kathy wanted to make sure I didn't get anything having to do with the will that she destroyed, because if I got even the slightest information, I might find a way to force it to be read without having to come up with the magical $10,000 I would need to have that will read. If I ever come up with money, if I ever have $10,000, I can still pay to have that will unearthed and prove all of this time that there was always a will leaving me everything. They just know that I'll never have the money to do that. That's why they feel safe doing what they're doing. Anyway, so my mother had called me and told me that her EBT card was sent to the condo and she needed me to get it out of the box for her. She was hysterical. And I said, I can't even get a new key with the 5 cents I have, and if I ask for help from Kathy, Sarah, Angela, and Felicia, post on my Facebook telling everybody I'm garbage for needing money to survive. Right? And then there's Kathy. You need to start looking for a place to live. The condo's going back to the bank. We plan to place out soon. Kathy will get the mail. Your mother doesn't need her SNAP card. Catherine talked to her the other day. So I received a message from my mother saying that she needed her SNAP card. And then there's Kathy saying, your mother doesn't need her SNAP card. Let the bitch starve. Her mother's dead. How dare she think about food? Catherine checked on her the other day. I'm sure she fed her. Why would your mother need her SNAP card? This is the fucking nastiest bullshit. This is literally Kathy telling me that and later she'll say that she loves her mother so much. She took care of my mother, right? She took care of her mem. But literally days after my grandmother passed away, she was refusing my mother to get her EBT card. I have no guilt. Here's another one from just after my grandmother passed. My cell phone's being cut off today. The home phone is stolen for now. It's hard to keep in touch with anybody when I wake up every day not knowing if I'll have power or not. My aunt, that's Kathy, took the mailbox key, so even if I had money, I couldn't get the bills or anything else that travels by mail, like my social card. I don't know how to get another key for free. Now, I should not have been having to worry about getting a mailbox key because I had lived in that condo for a decade. Kathy had no right to confiscate the mailbox key to the home that I lived in. She took that key to make sure anything that came through the mail about the will would be intercepted by her and her alone. I lived in the condo with my grandmother there almost the entire time she lived in that condo. There is no reason anybody should have been taking the house keys and the mailbox key away from me when they knew that I lived there and had a legal right to retrieve my own mail. What family does that? Y'all keep telling me my family is so loving and supportive. Literally days after my grandmother passed, they were denying me access to my own mailbox. Does anybody ever deny you access to your mailbox? Would you get upset if somebody swooped in and took your mailbox key and said, I'm checking your mail from now on. If you get anything, I'll tell you about it? No, you would not. You would not be okay with that. And neither am I, and neither was I. This is just a couple of days after my grandmother passed away. I was being harassed severely by my family, and I said, I'm going to be deleting my Facebook today. There's too many people harassing me on it. Send me a message, and I'll give you info to stay in contact with me. And Sarah Elizabeth Mackey says, thank God. Delete it. Right? Loving family member. Kathy taught her empathy and support so well. Just the most loving. Okay, so here's another one. From November 21st, 2015. Mima left me taken care of in her will. The family is choosing to not read the will. Sorry. Leaving me nothing, leaving me homeless. Only one person knows details about the will. My sister has spoken to that person and won't tell me who it is. This is my family taking everything my grandmother wanted me to have and leaving me homeless. These aren't strangers. This is my own sister helping these people disrespect my grandmother's wishes. And there's nothing I can do. Probate lawyers cost money and I don't even have $1 to eat. I spent my adult life taking care of my grandmother. I should have been trying to take care of me, but I never thought she would leave me with nothing. I never imagined my Mima could actually die. Catherine says there's no will and they aren't reading a will. Daryl says y'all have plans to sell everything and split the money. You took all her jewelry. My mother is extremely upset because she knows Mima didn't mean for you to take all her jewelry or the safe and put it in your car. Katrina, my mom, called Catherine, my aunt, yesterday and knows nothing, even though she is supposed to be the executor. Katrina says you've already cleared out the bank account left for me. And you told me she left me nothing the day after she died. You called me in my room to let me know my name wasn't in the will, and I know that's a lie. Oh, look, there's Kathy. She says, I'm sharing this post so others can understand the pain you're causing. Things have to happen. All mom's bills have to be paid. You will be fine after things are done. Okay? That is very important. That is the most important part because this is from 2015. This is Kathy herself telling my Facebook followers that everything was going to be fine as soon as they got everything completed. She knew that was a lie. When she posted this, she knew I was being left homeless. And after this post, I would go on to be homeless for 5 years. I reached out for help, and Kathy told people that I was lying and I was never going to be homeless and I was taken care of and I was fine. So why did I then spend 5 years homeless, Kathy? If everything was going to be taken care of and everything was going to be sorted out, why did I then spend 5 years homeless? 5 years, Kathy. 5 years I was homeless. After you told everybody that I know that would never happen. This is Nikki Fennell. This is the one that I told y'all has the hand deformity. I can show y'all actually. Look, you can see it. It's not secretive. There you go. There's one that shows her hands. Prove I didn't lie. I didn't lie. And before y'all go off, you're doxing. No, I'm not friends with this person, so anything that I'm able to see on her Facebook is public record. Any of you could find it just as easily. Anyways, back to the abuse. No one is letting a will, inheritance, and possessions rule their lives and worlds besides Mary. The rest of us are just refusing to let her lie that she is being left destitute when the damn will hasn't even been read yet. Coming to you from 2021, right? They never read the will, and I spent 5 years homeless and destitute. While my family is right here telling people to calm down, the will's going to be read, she's going to be fine. The will was never read. 2021, the will was never read. I spent 5 years homeless because the will was never read. I begged and begged for people to help me before that happened because the will was never read. Nikki right here is saying that there is a will and it's going to be read, and everybody knows I'm not going to be left destitute. She is the only one to my knowledge who was even asked if there was a will. Yeah, I was the only one left in it. Surprisingly, people who know that they're not in the will aren't going to question whether it gets read because they're not in it. See, I was living with my grandmother fully. She was taking care of me. And after she passed away, I was on my own, completely destitute because my family refused to read the will and told everybody in the process that I was lying about that they were going to read the will. It was going to be fine. I just needed to chill out. Just cool down, man. It's cool. It's fine. You're going to be good. Just take a breath. Okay? You know, this is only like November. By the end of the year, everything's going to be sorted out. By the end of the next year, I was entirely homeless and would stay that way for 5 years. That will was never read. It was never figured out. The rest of us have been more concerned about, mourning. It's disgusting to me that someone has 50 grand on false pretenses. I'm there for my family, but anyone who tries to benefit from someone's death and is only concerned with what they will gain from it is no family of mine. Amazing. So, Nikki's not my family. Yeah, if y'all need proof of that, she just said right there that she's no family of mine because after my grandmother who took care of me died, I was worried about how I was going to continue living. And a reasonable person would have just died, would have said, well, she's dead, and so I guess it's time for me to die because I can't feed myself. No reasonable person does that. After somebody dies, it is very normal for there to be a will reading. My family seems to think that will readings only happen for spoiled, selfish people. Because if the people in the will really loved their loved ones, they wouldn't care about the will and they would just give all of their stuff to the rest of the family that really wants it. No, I'm not the only one who's asked. My mom called Catherine yesterday and was told there wasn't a will. I'm going by what I'm being told by people who were supposed to know about it. Kathy replied again. Your mom has been with Catherine and I. She knows things take time. Okay, Kathy, again, is not denying there's a will at this point. Brett is the one who has seen the will. Brett's her husband. So if y'all have questions about the will that you need answered, contact Brett. Talk to Brett because Kathy says he's the one that's seen the will. It's too early for this. I can't do this. I just want to show everybody that I was begging and pleading for help in this all the way back in 2015, and my family was actively lying to everybody on my page to make them believe that I didn't really need help when I desperately needed help. Because I'll remind you all that after these posts, I went on to be homeless for 5 years. 5 years. I was homeless after my family insisted that I was taken care of and everything was going to be fine. All I had to do was wait. How long? How long they got to wait? It's been 5 years. I know, you expected me to die. It would have been much easier. Newsflash, I didn't.